Hello everyone, welcome back to Smart Move Insider, a place where we talk about fitness, community and making progress inside and outside the gym. I'm Sergiu here with head coach Bart, and today we're talking about the Open. With a feeling of relief and with a desire to perform better on the next one, I can say I'm really happy that this one passed. How do you feel, my friend?
The same. Bit sore after every of those workouts, but not extreme. And think also performance-wise, I kind of got what I expected. Nothing worse or nothing better. I estimated good in advance where I thought I was gonna end up. Maybe the first one I thought I was gonna finish at the 21s, but went a little bit further because burpees is not my thing. But seeing that I did in the last months a lot of burpees, apparently the burpees went smoother than I expected in advance.
So an overall feel, it's all good. It was pretty balanced.
Yeah, pretty balanced.
Do you do it yearly? The Open, or you had
Depends.
times when you skipped?
I've had times that I didn't do it. I had also times that I did the first or the second, and then I heard something or I tweaked my shoulder. Like on one year when there was double unders and wall walks in a ladder, I think 20 minutes. And every time more wall walks and more double unders. Then afterwards I couldn't do the other ones because I tweaked my shoulder.
So you just stopped?
Yeah, I couldn't. It's not worth it. I just skipped the other ones. I couldn't go overhead.
I remember Radesh had once a moment like this when he, I think, had an overhead movement, push press, and then he tweaked something, and then he couldn't move his arm anymore.
And he qualified for quarterfinals, and he still tried the workouts.
Yeah, he
had to do ring muscle ups with a messed up shoulder. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, he remembers that one.
Uh-huh.
And I think we had a redo, but I don't remember which one is which.
We had so many redos in all these years. But yeah, definitely I haven't done all years. Usually I do them as a training, but it depends. Yeah, if I'm healthy, then yeah, it's just a training.
Would you redo one of them? Do you think one of the events was not everything behind it?
If I didn't give it my all in one of them, and I think I could do better. Isn't that the feeling you always have, that you can go a little bit faster until you're back into the middle of it, and then you're like, oh, no.
I think it's the feeling when you especially switch and you judge your judge, and then you stay and you see the times that he rests and say, I think I could have gone faster. But no, the reality is almost every time, no, you couldn't.
Usually one and done is for most people the best, unless you're on a leaderboard and you see, if I do 2 reps better, I jump 5 places, then it's worth it. You can do 2 reps more if you're going to find them somewhere. But
I think this redo was like a fad, like something that you should do if you want to qualify better, if you want to. I know many athletes, they were doing it once when it was announced, and then they were doing the truth with a push later in like Monday, let's say.
I think in that case, you better do, maybe when it's announced, do 25% of the workout to feel it out and to have a better feeling of strategy, and then go full in on Monday. I wouldn't do the full workout, just unless I go full in. Otherwise, I wouldn't do the full workout. Just a part is probably enough to know how it's going to feel.
I think it's pretty messed up for the head to go and just taste a bit of what you're going to taste 100% a few days later. I think it's hard.
Usually for me, certain workouts are so hard that I don't want to just taste it. I want to just do it, and then afterwards, the next time I'm going to do it, it's going to be in the Open. They say to redo it, and otherwise certain workouts I don't want to redo them because went too deep. That's why Fran is also not one of my favorite workouts, because I've been in the last 10-15 years, did it so many times and went so deep that it's certain workouts you have a bad memory, PTSD, like soldiers.
Yeah, it brings back bad memories.
And that's why on workout 2 is kind of a version of Fran. I didn't look forward to that.
Yeah, I can understand. So let's start with reminding the people what is the CrossFit Open and how is it structured, how was it this year, and then let's just dive into each event.
So yeah, CrossFit Open, 3 workouts in 3 weeks, worldwide online competition to for most people just to test their fitness from year to year, and for a couple high-level competitors a way to progress to, what is it now, quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Or how is their structure now? Yeah.
It's the affiliate cup and then is the
Yeah,
quarterfinals.
affiliate cup first. Okay. Yeah, so to progress further into the competition. But for most of us, it's more like a test to see how our fitness is at, where it is at, and also to see where are our weaknesses, because the CrossFit Open is always structured in a way to reveal some things that you probably need to work on. Can be gymnastics, usually it's gymnastics. Could be strength, but somewhere in those 3 workouts, you're going to figure out where you were good and where you were not so good. And then if you care about doing better in the Open next year, you know what to work on.
So if you want to get better, you need to attack those weak points.
Yeah, not avoid them.
Not just know about them.
Yeah. How many people probably struggled with bar muscle ups last year and struggled again this year with bar muscle ups, because in between, in those 365 days, you didn't really do anything specifically for it.
Yeah, I bet, because if you just try to do that movement and don't get stronger around it, like push and pull, it's useless.
It's not just a technical problem usually, it's also...
No, but that's what people think.
I know, it's not a trick.
To do that more, but
No, I need to practice the muscle by itself more. No, you need to do the accessory work around it, and also the technique drills building up to the full move to get better at it.
Yeah, well, you need to go do the boring work.
Yeah, and that's why you usually want to avoid it, because it's not the most interesting work. And it takes some time for it to pay off and get to the fancy stuff, the full bar muscle up. And then the next thing, full bar muscle up under fatigue, because it's another level, doing it fresh or doing it when you're tired after thrusters and double unders.
Exactly. So let me ask you one question. I know that you were doing the tips and tricks on Instagram and YouTube after you did the workout. So before you started the workout, for sure you had the plan in your head.
Yeah.
How was the plan before the workout, and how was the plan modified after the workout? Were there big differences?
There were sometimes differences, maybe especially in how to split up the reps. But pacing-wise, it was kind of what I said in those tips and tricks and what I had in mind in advance. But yeah, sometimes you're thinking I'm going to do, 12, 7, 6, and you put the bar down at 10. So you adjust a bit maybe your rep scheme. But for the rest, it kind of how I expected. I think a lot of it depends on knowing yourself a little bit, doing a lot of workouts, because these workouts are always similar to something you did before, maybe not exactly like that, but close, or the combination of exercises. So you kind of know how you move 40 kilos on a thruster. You kind of know what's feasible on a full set of keeping pull-ups under fatigue. So that I've done it long enough to know a little bit how far I can go.
I wanted to emphasize by this just that you did the workout and then you were giving the tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Because it's once when you think about it and then you do it, you feel it on your own skin, and then you go and make the real plan. I had members asking if Bart did Bart really do the workout? Yes, he did. And he really performed good at each and every one of them. So yeah. I wanted to emphasize that.
And not by necessarily training for it. Also, you didn't really train for it because you had a long period of static work,
6 months
rehabbing stuff, and I been doing strength training, but not 5 times a week anymore, 3 times a week, because I was running a lot, preparing for high rocks. And we still did pretty okay, considering I wasn't doing. I hadn't done keeping pull-ups in 6 months. I hadn't done snatches in 6 months because my shoulder was a bit tweaked. So every time I was going overhead, I felt it a little bit. So I didn't push those movements.
Why do you think this is? Why do you think we perform pretty good?
I think the skill doesn't really disappear because you did it for so many years. And then we still did strength training. We still did endurance, just not specifically tailored, like I programmed in the classes from January till February specifically for the Open. So I wasn't specifically training for 12-minute AMRAPs and 15-minute time caps. I was training for 1 hour endurance workouts. And you didn't have that much cardio overall, I guess.
No, in my last 6 months, I barely did cardio.
And still, the cardio was still okay. So
Yeah, the skills were there, the cardio was there, but with a bit more of suffering.
yeah,
I need to push myself a bit, but yeah, I think at the core of it, it's the consistency. So we never stopped.
no.
If you stop and just don't do anything, then you get rusty.
That's normal because after 4 weeks, if you don't lift, your strength starts going down. After a couple of weeks, your cardio starts going down. So I was still doing, just not specifically preparing for this. So I was still pretty happy that it still carried over. Of course, you can do better if you specifically train to perform at these open workouts. It can still be better, of course.
Yeah, each time.
Because on the second workout, I know I was going to get at the bar muscle ups, and I know like I haven't done bar muscle up in years.
But you still tried.
Oh yeah. I still did a bar muscle up. That wasn't the issue, but I avoided them in the last years because every time when I was doing too often, I was tweaking my wrist or I was tweaking my shoulder, and it's for me one of those movements. Like if you don't compete in the sport of CrossFit to go to CrossFit competitions, it's not worth me risking to hurt my wrist or shoulder if I'm not actually going to a CrossFit competition where I'm going to use it. Because if I'm going to be practicing it, it's only for my own amusement, and I can stay fit without certain exercises. So for me, certain things in CrossFit, you need to do them, especially if you want to compete. But if you just want to stay fit, you can stay fit without them. And I could still do a bar muscle up. That wasn't the problem.
Yeah, if you know you can do it and you demonstrate and you wish to do it, that's enough. You need to do it daily or weekly.
Besides that, because my shoulder hurt a bit, I was avoiding all kipping motion. So I was doing a lot of strict work. So that benefited also. You just get stronger by doing a lot of strict work. If then you add a kip to it, you'll get up.
So let's start with the first one. Let's remind the people what the first event was, and then tell us how you felt during and after.
15-minute AMRAP. It was like a ladder of lateral burpees over the dumbbell hang cleans to overhead. So that those two movements went up 3, 6, 9, and so on. And then after every block of burpees and the dumbbell work, you had to do 7.5 meters walking lunges and 7.5 meters back. Body weight. So no extra weight.
You enjoyed this one?
No, because historically, any workout we've ever done in the gym over the last decade that involved burpees, I always seem to suffer more than other people for some reason. I think it's mostly mental. I just don't like burpees. But somehow, I was thinking I'm going to reach maybe the 21. But we went a little bit farther. We went back to the 24s. So the burpees went smoother than I expected in advance. Probably all the endurance work I did in the last months, just keep on moving and did a lot of burpees helped. But I still don't like them. But they're not that bad. You don't even have to stand up all the way. You jump over, like in that one leg at a time style. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, just jump over it in any way you can.
Yeah.
But have your both feet up in the same time, not step.
For me, this was like a burpee workout. I started feeling the dumbbell heavy in the set of 21. Till then it was okay, but by then the workout was almost over. So for me, this was really a burpee workout and high breathing, not so much the dumbbell. I don't know how it felt for you, if it was more the dumbbell than the burpees.
For me, I knew it was a fire breather from the start. And to be honest, I didn't move 22.5 above like that. I was just doing flies with 22.5. I just did bench press and flies. So going with the dumbbell overhead was pretty testing at the first. But then as I was moving forward, I was just focusing on breathing, focusing on the burpees. I knew I had a big volume of burpees. I did them, I think, without a stop when I was needed to do them. So I had that one, but I needed to stop and recover for the dumbbell because from a point on, my back was burning, and if I know if my back is starting to burn, then I will not be able to do the burpees anymore properly because I get numb. I don't know if you know the sensation, like you do sit-ups and you cannot bring yourself up again. You're constricted.
Yeah. No, I haven't had that. I had that with doing too much dumbbell snatches that at a certain point I can't hip hinge anymore.
Yeah.
After I go over 100 reps in volume, it starts to kick in. But for me, the burpees went unbroken until the 15s, and on the 18s, I made my first break. And then on the 21s, even more break, maybe 3 times. But the dumbbell stayed unbroken, I think, only on the last set.
And from an organizational part, how we structured everything in the gym, do you think it was an easy one to make it in a class or it was a difficult one?
I think it was an easy one because you don't need that much space, because you basically can do it half a meter and you're just moving around your dumbbell and in place, and for the rest is just that lunge up and down. So organizational wise, I think they chose a good workout so a lot of people can move in the same time.
I think this is at the base of it. They want people to be accessible and to do it.
I think the entire Open, the workouts, I thought they were quite accessible. Maybe the first 2 workouts a little bit too focused on the short guy to be doing well, but it's a short guy sport, so can't really blame that. The third one I thought was a bit more balanced, for anybody could get something out of that. On the first ones, I could have already guessed that somebody short and fit is gonna fly on that.
Yeah, for sure. If they're light and if they're strong, they really go fast. Yeah, and from a standpoint of the people doing it, when I was speaking to them, they said that I thought it was easier when I read it, but then when I was into it, it was like I couldn't breathe anymore. I was gasping for air, even at the scale. They had a lower weight, but still, it was intense.
I think it's a pacing problem usually with that. I also went out pretty fast because I was doing it next to you, and I know you're good at burpees, so I needed to speed up there a bit and then go unbroken on the dumbbells because I know eventually you're going to catch up on me if I pace myself too much in the beginning. But I think people that say that or don't have so much experience with doing these combos or just go a bit too fast from the start. I was also surprised that I think after 5 minutes we already passed the 15s, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
But the workout only really started at the 18s. I thought that's the first moment where I thought something is starting to become heavy. For me, then the burpees started to become a little bit of a challenge, and then a set later the dumbbell started becoming heavy all of a sudden.
Exactly. The reps were going higher also.
Yeah. All of a sudden you have to do 18s and 21s. Yeah, then you start feeling it. All those reps before I was like, ooh, not that bad. Keep going, keep the speed. So I can imagine that even with lighter weights, it can still be challenging. That's the nice thing about CrossFit, right? Anybody can get a good workout in, no matter if you go RX or scaled.
Exactly. Let's move forward. What's the next event?
So a week later, we had like a France-style combo with pull-ups and thrusters, but they throw in also double unders. So we went 21 pull-ups, 42 double unders, 21 thrusters at the first weight, then 18 chest to bar pull-ups. So the pull-ups became more technical. Then 36 double unders, 18 thrusters at a heavier weight. Then again, the gymnastics became more complicated, 15 bar muscle-ups, 30 double unders and 15 thrusters. So reps were going down, but the skill level on the gymnastics went up each round, and the bar started getting heavier and heavier. It's always funny. You saw a Sergiu meme there on Dave Castro saying, and this one is for time. I could already look when I saw this workout that with a 12-minute time cap is fast. People, if you reach the bar muscle-ups, you did pretty well. If you can pass the bar muscle-ups, even better. But you could see that most regular gym goers that don't specifically train competition style are not going to finish this one.
This was a redo from the 2022, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or 2021.
Yeah. That's when you finished it, right?
So back when this was the first time in the Open, I finished it 11:57.
Yeah, 3 seconds before the time cap.
Yeah, I remember. But now I did 2 muscle ups and that's it. I couldn't even come back to the bar. But I remember that the bar really, like, it was stiffing you in the ground. It was pushing you. 60 kilos when you're really fatigued is like 80 kilos when you're fresh.
Yeah. Even when you're fresh now, 60 kilos is not that easy. So imagine if you did all that work before, then the 60 kilos is going to be a true challenge. You saw even the top guys resting a second at the top, not to want to put it down, just to be able to go unbroken on that, and they're strong.
Yeah. So did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, I didn't mind. If I have to choose from the 3, I think this one I like the most. Although I know that there was going to be a sticky point because we had like 2.5 minutes left when we arrived at the bar muscle ups. But I was happy just to get 1 bar muscle up. And it was also the first time since a while I did thrusters. And also the keeping pull-ups. First time in 6 months I did keeping pull-ups. So I tried to do them more controlled, especially on the way down.
I think you went unbroken.
I went unbroken on the 21 pull-ups and then sets of 3 and 4 on the chest to bars. But I tried to control myself a bit, not to go too far in the front swing. Although I was happy I didn't have any pain day after, so I can start incorporating keeping pull-ups again, apparently.
That's a good news. And from an organizational point of view, in the class, this was a bit more logistic.
Yeah, because you need a bit more space and people running around to the bar on the pull-ups and all different kind of... This was more complicated because you need to find 3 different pull-up variations. Not necessarily that you're going to reach the 3rd one, but just in case. So the coach had a little bit more work to make sure that everybody starts with the easy one on the first 21, a harder version on the 18s, and then a challenging on the 15s. So it takes a while before you get your entire class set up with, to be sure that everybody has what they need, not to make it too hard and not to make it too easy.
Yeah, but we didn't aim to keep it in 1 hour. So if you would have gone 15 minutes, it's just because of the organizational part. So
certain. It's not like a normal class because we also try in the Open to judge each other, just so you have that feeling how it is when somebody's counting for you, somebody's giving you no reps, so you have that feeling even if never during the year you compete, you can at least have a feeling, what's the difference now? Will I be pushing harder? Will I be given no reps that maybe when I count for myself I would say it's good enough? So you get that feeling, but it's different.
Yeah, it was nice and the people liked it, though it was pretty challenging to find the variation of the pull-up. I could have seen that people were confused. What do you mean? Why don't I do just ring rows, all of it? But yeah, you could have done it like that. But if you wanted to challenge yourself, you needed to have 3 ways and to feel it different.
It's also part of the Open because we also had questions. Okay, I look at this muscle up, I can do everything, but I don't have bar muscle ups. Part of the Open is also go as fast as you can through the first bar, get to the bar muscle up, and then with the time remaining, try. If you can do chest to bar, if that was manageable, 18 chest to bar, you basically have the strength to go for the bar muscle up.
Yes, true.
So if you're there with 3 minutes left, you need to try to get your first bar muscle up. That's also part of the Open. A lot of people catching their first of something. And maybe in the scale it would be the first keeping chin over the bar pull-up.
I think it's called the magic of CrossFit, the magic of the Open.
Yeah.
And you actually can do something that you weren't able to do it before. It's like the spirit of CrossFit gets into you.
Yeah, the clock is counting down. Fuck, I have 30 seconds to give another try.
Yeah. I enjoyed this one. Though I didn't go unbroken like I did in the first time. I paced myself really, really good because I know it was a longer one. It was a 15-minute. So I didn't want to die. I didn't want to blow up my engine. So I started breaking from the start and then just being very careful on the weights, because thrusters is not my favorite movement. It never was. So yeah.
And you don't know why, but you just don't like them.
Yeah, I just don't like it. Yeah, let's move forward for the last one. There was
We did that one yesterday.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that one was cheaper with a 20-minute time cap. Again, Castro for time. For most of us was time capped. So 5 wall walks, then 50 calorie row, 5 wall walks, 25 deadlifts, 5 wall walks, 25 cleans, but most of us power cleaned it. 5 wall walks, 25 snatches, 5 wall walks, and 50 calorie row. So long cheaper with a lot of wall walks. How did you feel on this one? And what did you think in advance? And was it what you expected?
Every time I do wall walks, my shoulder blades are like popping out. Not in the same time, but after a day. And all my muscles are very, very tight in my back. So I'm not looking forward for wall walks. I can do them. I go really smooth. But then it's like I feel my shoulder blades, even when I cough, even when I laugh, I feel it. I feel my back. When I started to do the workout, I had a plan. I was like, I'm going to go really slow. I'm going to not do it unbroken on the wall walks. I'm going to rest more. But the first 3-4 rounds, they went really smooth. The bar, I was afraid of the bar, the deadlift. 100 kilos on the bar, for me, it's pretty at the edge now in my way of training. So that really pushed me. And then I remember from my first pull, when I had the power cleans, I pulled so hard from the floor. I was like, I'm going to smash my face. But no, it was okay. It was just the first part. I did more than I expected to do. I didn't thought I'm going to finish the snatches. Because, let's face it, if you pass the power cleans, 25 with 60 kilos, and you have 40 kilos of 25 reps again, I was like, I'm going to stick over there. I'm going to be in that area. But I managed to finish them. So, yeah. How was it for you? Because I know you love wall walks.
Yeah, usually in workouts with wall walks, after it goes over 3, I usually start to struggle. It lasted longer than I expected. The first 10 went still pretty smooth, but then from the third block of 5, the last step every time with one hand started getting hard to get to that line. And I started needing to take breaks in between because I started feeling my shoulders heavy. In those first 10, you could still go up, down without like a real big break. But yeah, after that, the time to do the 5 started doubling. So instead of in 30 or 40 seconds, I started going over 1 minute, 1 minute and a half to finish those. So I started losing a lot of time.
Why do you think it makes it so hard, this movement?
I think for me, one, it's shoulder endurance, but also because you're upside down and moving, it's very hard to breathe. So I'm like holding my breath on the way up and I'm trying to breathe, but it's hard because you're bracing. And I started getting out of breath because you don't have so much oxygen. So I try to do them as fast as I can because breathing is hard and get as fast as I can back to my belly. But I think that mainly the breathing, because my heart rate started going very high.
I think this also has its toll, the upside down. All the blood is like vice versa in your body. I think that also has an effect on you.
Yeah.
I feel my head is going to pop.
Yeah, Laura also always says she struggles a lot with that. I never really feel it in my head, but yeah, I've heard that more often with people just also doing handstands at the wall.
I had a 20 minutes headache after this one.
Yeah, just from being that upside down.
Yeah, the intensity.
Yeah, I think you probably need to do often, maybe a couple of times a week, being upside down to get over that feeling.
Yeah, just to make yourself accustomed.
Once you start doing more
position.
handstand work and handstand push-ups and wall walks, it's just something to get accustomed to. It never really bothered me. Yeah, the shoulder endurance. It was hard. Eventually, mini steps on the hands, and that's not helping because then you're longer upside down. But yeah, for me, I knew this was going to be a struggle point to wall walks. It was just a matter of when is it going to kick in. Because the barbells, that went pretty okay. I muscle cleaned, muscle snatched. So it was really the wall walks for me on this one that slowed me down. But I like this workout from the point of view that those that are tall and efficient on wall walks and handstands, they could take big steps on this. So this was not necessarily a short man workout.
Yeah.
It had some weight, it had some wall walks, it had some rowers. So this balanced it out a bit in comparison to the first two workouts.
And if you were a strong boy, the 100 kilos could have gone even unbroken.
Yeah, if you wanted. But you saw even the top guys didn't do that. There were, what was it? I think the guy that won did 5, drop it from the top, directly picks it back up, but 5, drop it from the top. And on his power cleans, he did once. He just did clean drop for 25 reps. And those guys are really strong, and they went under 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but they flew on those wall walks.
Yeah. I remember each time I look at the open announcement, it looks so easy. They go so smooth. They finish so fast. When I get to do it, it's like on its head.
Yeah, they're always moving double speed than us.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you not out of breath? And I'm already have to sit here and rest for 20 seconds.
So I think if we would have 25 minutes, there were chances to finish.
Yeah, I would have needed indeed, because I had still 5 wall walks to do and 50 calorie row. If I would have had 25 minutes, I would have finished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, these guys, it's another level. That's why if you're just training for longevity, you shouldn't compare with guys that train 3 times a week and make it their job to go to the CrossFit Games. It's a different type of lifestyle. It's a different type of workout they're doing for this. And they're also spending a lot of time on making sure their food and their recovery is good. So they're living a different lifestyle. So it's like comparing apples with pears. But it's nice to see what the human body is possible of. But it's not what we're training for.
Yeah, true. You need to be aware of this, because you might think that you can do it, but you're going to crash and burn really fast.
Yeah,
if you're going to try it.
That's why I'm mentioning it, because some people might be disappointed about their open workout performances, but you need to put it in perspective. What are you training for? With the thing you're training for, you can only achieve so much in the open. So if you really want to be focusing on stuff like this needs to be a completely different shift in training, food, recovery, mindset. And also, you don't need to be 40 when you do that.
True. So let's look now into the future. What should we do to get better for the next Open from 2026?
I think for most of you that would have that question is be more consistent in the classes. 2 times a week training. If you want to improve certain things, won't cut it. You're going to have to get more consistency 3 or 4 times a week. And then pinpoint what your problem is. Was it the gymnastics work? Then show up on the days that is gymnastics in class. You have a week in advance what's coming in the next week. If it's toaster bars, if it's pull-ups, if it's strict strength, show up specifically for the things that will help you with the thing you want to improve. So it all depends. Is your gymnastics suffering because you're missing strength overall? Make sure you go to the classes that can improve your strength in all kinds of ways. Deadlifts, pull-ups, shoulder work, bench presses, push presses. So show up for those. Go to Olympic weightlifting classes, just get general strong. Don't skip. Usually people skip on the things they're not good at. So it's toaster bars in class, they don't show up. It's handstand holds or handstand walk practice, they don't show up. So just first start with, do I really want to improve? And if you do, make a plan.
Yeah, if that's an objective to do better next year, you need to do more of what you're lacking. So especially if you're not aware of this, because you might just do the open and then you don't have a plan. To make that plan, I would say you need to talk to a coach. Talk to the coach and see if he has something, after he saw you performing, if he has some tips for you to do in the next period. And then just do more of them.
Yep. And he sees you in class as well. So most of our coaches know the members' strengths and weaknesses pretty good, because especially if you come on a regular basis, they kind of know where you're lacking, and they can probably tell you. Yeah,
and they can make your road shorter, your journey shorter to the goal. and it's much more safer. I can say that.
Yeah, for
Instead
sure.
of doing all those crazy shit that you think it's gonna bring you forward, just look for the simple steps. Talk to somebody.
Yeah, they have the experience, so they can indeed bring you from A to B in a more efficient way, give you some advices. And maybe that's going to include for a couple of months, once a week PT.
Exactly. So now basically it's back to the whiteboard, back to work.
Yeah.
You need to go back and try to strengthen your weaknesses, and then 2026 might be your year that you're gonna perform better.
Yeah, and then like we said before the Open started, we'll soon post our winners, because we said those that will show up on the 3 Saturdays doing the Open, we'll random pick winners for a month abonnement, so we'll announce that also soon.
Pretty cool. So that would be it for today.
Yep.
If you have any questions about the Open, about the plan to make the 2026 Open better, just write us on our email. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.